Yo, what's good, man? This is your boy at DFS Mastermind _ over on Twitter, and this is me clapping my hands, man. NBA is back. We ready. I'm hyped, man. It's gonna be an awesome year, man. I feel it in my bones. I'm ready to hop into the NBA season. I'm a little upset because it starts so soon, but it's here, man. We can't run from it. We gotta prepare ourselves. We gotta get ready to dominate. One thing I want to say before I get started, shout out to my boy at FanDuel Bomb Lineups, man. Last night on Twitter, he showed me a little love for a few bold calls I had. And I end up gaining a lot of followers, man, off him showing me love. So I really do appreciate that. Shout out to him. That's the big homie. And shout out to all the people that follow me. Shout out to the people that's been rocking with me. Y'all are really helping my channel grow, and I do appreciate it. Now, I want to talk about the NBA, y'all, because we like I said, we can't run from it. It's here. It's about to start. My very first YouTube video, I was talking about, I'm talking about the very first one I posted. It was like a DFS Mastermind tips video where I was kind of breaking down the NBA, breaking down a few strategies, and I just kind of want to reiterate that because the NBA DFS landscape has not changed. Of course, we got different players that moved. We have different offenses to look at. But, the rules remain the same, and I want to go over that to help get you prepared for this new season, man. I'm excited. A lot of players that I want to look at, a lot of teams that I'm anxious to use in my lineup. So let's hop into it, man. Number one rule, of course, every sport, doesn't matter what you're playing, don't matter what you're doing in life, the number one rule in America is bankroll management, man. If you want to make a profit off anything, you have to know what you're doing. You can't lose more than you win. We have to keep this in mind. And we have to manage our money, dude. Like, I can't stress that enough. You never want to go all in. I'm sitting here and I'm a bit hypocritical because last year, I do recall, I was doing a slow grind. I was doing some cash lineups. I was, grinding it out, getting to the green line. And I end up getting my account to about $400 odd dollars. And normally when I get my account to $200, I like to make a withdrawal, just so I'm not tempted to play in these bigger tournaments, even though every once in a while I will take a shot. But I know my bankroll will not allow me to play some of these huge tournaments that I get so anxious to play sometimes. So that's one thing I do to protect myself. If the money's not in my account and I, transfer it, I won't be able to use it, man. And one thing I'm not going to do, one thing I try not to do is make deposits. So yeah, that's what I tend to do. But I end up going all in, y'all. I thought I was the best DFS player in the world, and that's how I look at it. That's what I want to be. But I end up doing $100 single entry, like a $200 double up, a $50 entry, and all in one night, one lineup. I blew it all, man. I blew all of my bankroll. Everything that I was grinding that out for was a waste. And it was definitely an eye-opener. It was a big deal. I was very sad. Vucevic ended up not playing in my lineup, and it crushed me, man. Like, I've never felt so devastated. And I'll never forget that. And that's not the only time I've done that. But that's just a prime example of why we don't go all in. More times than not, it won't work out in your favor like you're expecting. I ain't saying hey, scare money don't make money though, man. So you definitely have to shoot your shots, man. But I would never advise you to go all in, man. It's one thing that is just is dumb, man. Even if you do win, I know you'll be ecstatic, but it's not worth the risk, in my opinion. So we're gonna go with the slow grind this year. Like always, when it comes to NBA, I like to do cash games because I get games every single night. At heart, I'm a GPP player, so of course I still will put a few GPP lineups out there. But for the most part, we taking the slow grind. We're going to be in these $25 single entry double ups, maybe a few $50, $5, $10, and we're gonna eat off those. That's where we're gonna feast. That's where the majority of our money is gonna go, and we're just gonna try to build this bankroll. And then, of course, every Sunday, we not gonna lack off football, man. Every Sunday we gonna go beast mode, and we gonna take our GPP shots in the NFL. So that's what I plan on doing. Like I said, long season, but manage your bankroll. That is the number one DFS tip. The number one DFS tip. That doesn't apply to just NBA. It applies to every single sport. Now, number one DFS tip, NBA is going to be minutes equals money, y'all. When we're dealing with NBA, you want the players who are going to be on the court. Point blank, period. I think we all know that, but I have to reiterate that. It's that simple. You don't want to have these players who are not going to be in the game. If you're building your roster to where you have LeBron James, DeMarcus Cousins, and Westbrook, but you have a bunch of players who are not even going to be on the court the majority of the game, that is a quick way to lose. So we have to realize that minutes equal money. The more time a player is on the court, the more valuable, especially when we're looking for these value plays. We have to knock down these minutes. We have to look at it. I'm a fiend for the game log on minutes. One thing I use game log for on DraftKings, NBA is going to be the minutes log, and then in football, it's the targets log for receivers or attempts. I don't like to get a ton of my, research from the actual site, like from DraftKings or FanDuel, because it's much deeper than just, watching the game log. But those are two things that are set in stone, man. We can definitely trust that. We want to know how long players are on the court. We want to know rotations of teams. One thing, if you can't afford it, one thing I would say is please get you the NBA League Pass, man. I want you to watch as much basketball as you can this year. I do this with every sport, MLB, NFL, and NBA. I want to see as much live game footage as I can. I want to try to watch every game if I can. I know my girl hates me for that. She don't hate me, but you get what I'm saying. I get on her nerves because we watch so much sports sometimes. And then she make me watch bullshit like Hocus Pocus and stuff like that. But, I want to watch as much basketball, NFL, and MLB as possible because I'm a big believer in the eye test. I believe the eye test does not lie to you. It's acting on your instincts. So if you know a player that's at a nice value, and if he gets the opportunity and you know his skill set, if you've seen a few games where you know he can score, has a juicy matchup, a good team total, we're going to target that, man. And I think that is the best thing to do with getting a lot of your research done, man. You can watch these games and get a lot more research done than you think. Believe me on that. Another thing that the League Pass is very good for, it allows you to see what to expect of teams. It allows you to see the first player off the bench. It allows you to see a team's rotation. It allows you to see who the offense is being ran through. It allows you to see sleepers before they're actually sleepers, before they're on everybody's radar. If you watch these games nightly and you're able to, digest a little information at a time, it will give you a big advantage, man. So that's very important in my opinion. As you see, I'm on NBAStarting5.com right now. I really love this website, man, because of the updates they do. Whoever is in charge of this website, they follow all of the beat writers for the NBA, and they update stuff immediately, man. As soon as they get information, it's on the website. Awesome website. I lean on them a lot, man, especially when a player's questionable. They have reports sometimes or interviews from players that they'll update, like whether a player's saying he feels really good about his shot, whether he's saying he's unhappy with the way the team is playing. All this stuff is useful information. And this website is just awesome, man. I feel like it's super easy to look at and digest. 100% totally free. Y'all know I'm a cheapie, man. I don't be paying for all these websites. I can't do it. When I first got into the game, I was on that train, but that's one thing I think I've grown out of, man. I've been doing this for a while now, so I can lean on my own research. And I love the process, man. I don't want people to do the research for me. I want to dive in and do it myself, so I have an understanding. And in the long run, it'll save you money, man. Once you're able to get your own process going, and not really lean on, what somebody else is giving you. The example I use, if you can bake a cake, it's better than somebody giving you a piece of cake. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm trying to do. That's what I want to help y'all do. But anyways, this website is beautiful, like I was saying. Totally free, up-to-date news, up-to-date information. As we know that the game's lock. We don't have late switch like in NFL or MLB, so we have to know who's projected to start. We have to know how a player's feeling, and this is an awesome tool to digest that information. Another quick website I want to show y'all, and y'all already know what it's going to be, man. VegasInsider.com, man. This is where I start my process for all of my for all of my sports, man. It starts right here for me, man. I think this is a major key. We can just look at these numbers and see what Vegas thinks. Like Boston and Cleveland opened up at a 214. Consistent. I can't say this word, man. I got a speech impediment, y'all. The consensus is at a 212 now. We have Cleveland favored by 3.5 points. And that total just moved back up because last time I checked it was at 211. So that's one thing to keep your eye on. How these numbers work. You have the total, of course. You have the spread. And these are key numbers, man. This is one thing that can really help your process. If you're targeting the right games that are super high scoring, that's more points for shot attempts, more points for rebounds, steals, block shots. You get the point, man. You get the gist of it. So that's one thing we really want to look on, especially when we have a full slate. Say if we have like a Miami and Utah, you can kind of mark that one off the list. We know it's going to be a lower scoring game. Of course, you can always find value in every single game. So, don't go in there blindfolded just because it has a low total, because Rudy Gobert could have the game of his career. You know what I'm saying? But, when we're targeting games, we want to make sure we're getting exposure to the highest scoring games on the slate.